Hey y'all, welcome to the country where it's just another day in paradise. Let's see what's going on. Hey y'all, welcome to the country on this rainy Thanksgiving morning here in the southern part of Texas. We are getting some much needed rain with this front that's coming through. And I'm not having my Thanksgiving meal today, but I am getting ready for it tomorrow. That's when my boys could come. So that's when we're going to have our Thanksgiving meal. So I'm working on the dressing today. I like to make as much ahead of time as I can. Got my sweet potatoes baking that will be mashed later in the day, and we'll have a video on that. So for our southern cornbread dressing, this is my mother-in-law's recipe, and I've tried so many recipes, and this is always the one I come back to because it is the best, and everyone that tastes it thinks that it's really good. It's just plain old cornbread dressing. So what I have here is some cornbread that I made. Now her recipe called for 4 of the bags that you can make of the corn kits or something like one of those types of recipes. But I make mine just my homemade cornbread. It's my mother's recipe. So I made 4 of those. I'm going to be making cornbread later today for us to have with some collard greens and what we're going to have for dinner. So I'll go ahead and add that also to this. So I like to make mine ahead of time. I cover it up with a towel, and I let it set out so that it kind of dries so that it will soak up the broth that I'm going to make. So what we're doing now is I'm getting ready to make the broth. So to make the broth, I've got 2 quarts of water in my pot here with 2 sticks of butter. You can use margarine. I guess if you wanted to use an olive oil or something like that. I've never tried it before. I've always used butter. And you're going to need a whole stalk of celery. And I have that here all washed up. And I like to take most of the strings out of the outer pieces. And what I'm doing is I'm julienning them, and then I'm going to chop them so that they're small, and they'll go into my pot with water and my butter. And I have 2 bunches of green onions. I just took the roots off and some of the leaves that were starting to get soft, but we're going to chop all of this up here. And it's pretty small. Some people like big hunks of celery. I like mine small like this. And this is going to cook for 2 hours. So it's going to really flavor that water. There's no seasonings other than salt and pepper, celery, and onions. That's it. And of course your butter. And it is delicious. And we serve it with giblet gravy. I'll also probably make some pan gravy. Luckily, we decided not to smoke the turkey because it is pouring down rain this morning. I'm going to do an oven-baked turkey, which I haven't done in a long time. And I'll show you the process on that when we get to it. I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff chopped up. Okay, so it's end of the day. I'll let my broth with the celery and the onions cool totally because I'm going to add my 6 eggs here in just a moment, and I don't want to add my eggs to a hot mixture and then stick it in the fridge. So I'm just kind of mixing it up. I've salt and peppered it, and it's nice and moist unless I add more cornbread. And I bake mine in this pan. It's bigger than a 9 by 13 oven. I think it's a 14 by 10 or 11, something like that. So I bake it in this bigger pan, and I've sprayed it with some oil there. I've added some salt and pepper. That's all the seasoning there is. And I'm going to taste this in a minute. So this is going to bake tomorrow at 350. Probably, if I let it come to room temperature, which I may not because of the eggs, probably an hour. It would be 45 minutes if it was hot. And I was doing it with hot broth and see if it needs any. Oh, there's no eggs in this yet. So I'm just tasting for salt and pepper. Don't want it too salty. If you don't have a great big stainless steel bowl, it's a good investment. I've had this for years and years and years. And it's great when you need to mix something up like this. I think that's about right there. Just about the right amount of salt. So my eggs, and get them beat up and mixed into this and into my pan and into the refrigerator. It's going to taste a lot better because those flavors are going to come together overnight and permeate the dressing. So let me go get my eggs. So I have my 6 eggs, and I'm going to beat them up. And I wanted to show you the color of these. I have black copper martins, or some new layers, and just look how dark those are. They're just beautiful. And they're really pretty big eggs. These hens started laying just a couple months ago. Some big eggs. So we're going to get these mixed up really good. And we're just going to fold these in. Get them mixed in really, really well here. And this adds such a beautiful color because those yolks are so dark. So this is the consistency right here. That I want. That light is so bright up there. Just mushy, just kind of mushy. And as it bakes, it's going to set up. And I like to let the edges get really, really crispy, and the center will still be moist. Some people like crispy, crunchy dressing edges. I do. And some people like it soft and moist. I think this is kind of one of those dishes, because it doesn't have a lot of spices in it, that you got leftover cornbread, and you can put it in the freezer and let it build up, and you can half the recipe, and it's just super easy. You usually have on hand what you need to make it. Just some celery, some green onions, some eggs, some cornbread. I got some cookies I was making here. Some little turkey cookies. Thought they were kind of cute. I had a few cookies left over from taking some to my adopted grandbabies, and they like to decorate cookies, so I took some over there. Alright, I think this is all mixed up. It's the perfect consistency, and I'm ready to get it into my pan here. And it will fill it up. Let's see what we got here. Turn this so we don't see. Put some plastic wrap over it and get it in the refrigerator. And tomorrow we'll bake it up. Have our Thanksgiving dinner on Friday. That's okay. That's when our family can get together. So I hope you make you some traditional Southern cornbread dressing. It's easy. Just takes a little chopping of the vegetables, and it's going to be really good, though. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving, and if you like what you see, hit that like button and subscribe for more country cooking here in the kitchen with Susan's Country Living. Bye, y'all.